So I'm saying it straight. If you aren't ready to wear deodorant when you're coming to Thailand, well then Thailand's probably not the right place for you. I'm serious. And so here, I'm going to teach you another two words. The first word is dap. And the second word is son. Okay, so this word son means to layer on top of each other like a pancake. So son, dap. Son, dap. So when it comes to body odor, if you're just spraying some wood oil, or if you're just spraying some kind of perfume on top of you that just son glin, this is even more offensive. I'm going to offend some people today, but I'm not intending to offend you. Thais have this wonderful concept of Greng Jai. I'll talk about it in a moment, but it's because of Greng Jai that they won't tell you this: you stink. So there you go. I just said it. I probably should say click like and subscribe and hit the bell now to counter all those people that just left my channel. But honestly, this issue of stinking in Thailand is a huge issue. I can't begin to tell you how much of an issue it is with Thai people. So before you get too outraged, let me explain, and I'm going to explain from a cultural perspective here and even a linguistic perspective. So there's something in there for everybody. So I mentioned that concept Greng Jai just now, and I've talked about it in other clips. I'll explain it today in the context that we're looking at. And even better, I'll show you some things that you can do to counter it, and so that you perhaps won't have this body odor while you're traveling through Thailand. And even more, I'll tell you my secret that's helped me for almost 30 years to not even break a sweat on the hottest day in Thailand, even if I'm wearing a suit. Okay, so let's start with this concept of Greng Jai. I'm going to write it here in Thai for those people who are learning Thai. Okay, so we have a koro, kreng, and then we have this word here, Jai. Now you can see that's made this as one word. I'm going to space them out here. So Greng and Jai. So I'm going to tell you a story. Now I'm sure all of you have seen these Indian gods, goddesses with all the arms. So imagine when you're born onto the planet, you're born and you have all of these arms flailing about, going all over the place, knocking everything over around you. However, these aren't arms. These things that are flailing about all around you are everything about who you are. They're your hairstyle. They're the volume of your voice. They're the way that you smell, the way that you look, the clothes you wear. Everything about you are these things that are flailing around, hitting everybody and knocking everything over around you. You're like a bull in a china shop. So let's call these arms Jai. Now, I know a lot of people think that Jai means heart or mind, which for Thais, heart and mind are the same thing. But I want you to think of all of these things I just described. All of these things about you are actually your Jai. And so your Jai is flailing about everywhere. Now, if you see a snail, and have you ever seen they've got their antenna up there? What happens when you touch it? That antenna will just pull in like that, right? This is the action of Greng. So, what is Greng Jai? Greng Jai is the understanding that living in a society with other people, in a family unit, in a village unit, or in a city unit with other human beings, your number one goal is to pull those arms in. Anything that could have an effect or knock somebody else in the face or knock somebody else's things over should be pulled in. You should respect those things. This is Greng Jai. Now, in the West, we put a lot of onus on being your own person. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to be the best. In Thailand, yeah, there's a strive to be good and be the best. However, the group comes first. And so Greng Jai even goes to things that you may think are good things. You might think it's good for you, but maybe it's not good for the other person, so it's better to be Greng Jai. So that means that sometimes even positive things to us, we still want to keep to ourselves because maybe somebody else doesn't think that they're good. And so we don't want to negatively influence them. That's Greng Jai in a nutshell. Now I'm going to teach you two other Thai words. Glin. Okay. So glin is a smell, just any type of smell. It's not positive or negative. However, the next word is the word men. By the way, if you want to use this tool here, it's totally free. I build it so people can see how tones work in tonal languages. Come to crackinglanguage.com. Okay, so we have glin and men. So in the context of Greng Jai, your glin, the way that you smell, whether you think it's good or not, this is something that is one of those arms flailing. Doesn't matter whether it's a good smell or a bad smell. And so when you get into that packed BTS train carriage, or when you get into a taxi, or when you're walking into a shopping mall, or heck, just walking down the street or walking through the hotel lobby, if you have this smell emanating from you, this is not seen as a good thing by Thais. Good smell, bad smell, if you're walking through and your personal scent is really affecting and being able to be detected by the people that you walk past, this is a no-no. It's not a desirable thing in Thailand. Not only that, even if you think it's a nice smell, supposing it's a nice perfume or a aftershave that you've bought that's expensive, and so you might think, yeah, I want to show this off to a Thai, even that could be offensive. And you can imagine it's not really a big thing to wear really, really strong perfumes in closed spaces when you're not used to that, and then all of a sudden it hits your nostrils. It's really shocking, and it can be very offensive and distracting to Thais. And so this is when your glin becomes men. You can see men. This is with a rising tone here. Men means to stink. So you imagine that you've got some foreigner coming into Thailand. They've been traversing the really humid, dank streets throughout Bangkok. They get up there, they're on the BTS, they've got sweat dripping down them, and they didn't wear deodorant. Oh my God. And then they reach up and hang on to the handle in the train, and you can literally see Thais will just move away from it and they'll start to turn their head. And because of Greng Jai, they won't say anything. This is both a beautiful thing about Thai culture, but it leads to many misunderstandings. I've run cross-cultural workshops in Thailand for almost 30 years now. And I can say that when Westerners come in, they're looking for a checklist of do's and don'ts. We can do this, we can't do this. And so, for example, if I describe what Greng Jai is to some foreigners who have come into the class, especially from Western countries, they're starting to look for, well, could I get away with this? Could I get away with this? Well, what if I did this? So I'm allowed to do that. It's not about being allowed to do anything. The whole concept of Greng Jai and cross-cultural stuff is what would make the best impression. What could I do while I'm in your home to not offend you? It's not what can I get away with. And this, I think, is a real distinction between a lot of Western thinking and thinking in this part of the world. It's not just about a checklist of do's and don'ts. It's how can I make my presence in this country as harmonious as possible? How do I play the role correctly that I'm expected to play? So I'm saying it straight. If you aren't ready to wear deodorant when you're coming to Thailand, well then Thailand's probably not the right place for you. I'm serious. I know that there are some countries out there that just don't wear deodorant. It's not a thing. And so when you're living in a society where people aren't wearing deodorant, maybe your sensitivity to body odor goes down and you're not really noticing how much odor is emanating from you. But when you hit the streets of Thailand, and it's just a weird thing, Thais in general, there are Thais that stink, but Thais in general don't have the same degree of body odor that we notice in the West. And so I know Thais that don't wear deodorant, but they don't stink. It's weird. I don't know what's going on chemistry wise, but when people from some certain countries come to Thailand and they reek, like they really, really stink, it's really offensive. And I've seen people even cross the road to avoid it because they just know that a smell is coming. And so here, I'm going to teach you another two words. The first word is dap, and the second word is son. Okay. So this word dap literally means to extinguish, to put out. So think of dap. And this is son. Son means to layer on top of each other like a pancake. So son, 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 dap. Son, 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 dap. So when it comes to body odor, if you're just spraying some oud oil, or if you're just spraying some kind of perfume on top of you that just son clean. This is even more offensive because you've got your base body stink and then you're putting more smells on top of it. And remember Greng Jai, we don't want to have any kind of effect, positive or negative, on people around us. And so if you're layering these things that are inherently noticeable and potentially offensive, you're actually making it worse by son clean, by putting different scents on top of each other. What you need to do is dap clean. And so this is why you need to wear deodorant. And so I know there are people out there who actually don't believe in deodorant and don't think it's a good thing for your body. Some people think it takes away your energy, especially some antiperspirants. People don't like what's inside of them. But I can tell you that if you don't wear the ones that actually dapglin, that really kill the perspiration and the smell coming out, you're going to have songlin. And those smells on top of each other can be offensive to Thais, and it's just not polite. And so if you are not ready to wear deodorant, well, then you're probably not ready for Thailand. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, but look how hot it is. It's crazy. Yeah, and look at Thais. Just go and have a look in peak hour what Thais are wearing. You notice that most guys, unless they're exercising, they're not wearing shorts. They're wearing slacks or pants or jeans or whatever. They've probably got socks on, or maybe long tao ta, just sort of slip-ons. Many of them are wearing long-sleeved shirts. How is it that in this kind of heat they can do that? Well, I can tell you, and this is my secret too, I can go out in April heat. Now, this is the hottest month of the year, in a suit in Thailand and still feel okay. How do I do it? Uniqlo. Now, I'm not sponsored by Uniqlo, but they have these airism shirts and they're really sort of thin. You put them on, you don't notice them underneath a shirt. You can get the ones with a deep neck, so you can actually wear a dress shirt on top of it if you want, or any kind of shirt. So you don't notice that it's under you, but what it does is create a layer between your skin and the shirt, and it actually suppresses perspiration. So you've got deodorant on first, and then you've got this airism shirt that's really sort of thin, but it catches the perspiration and it doesn't get to your actual shirt. And so you're not getting wet patches, you're not getting sticky, it's not uncomfortable, and most of all, you don't stink. And I find it actually regulates my body temperature, and so I feel just fine walking along the street. And so I feel just fine even on the hottest day walking along the streets of Bangkok with a long sleeve shirt on, as long as I've got this airism shirt on underneath. Again, I'm not sponsored by Uniqlo, but I've been using them for years and years and years, and they really do work. On the flip side, you can tell people who are newbies to Thailand because they're there walking and they've just got sweat all over them. They're wearing just a shirt with no other layer, and so as soon as they sweat, it hits their shirt and it's all over the place, and then you even feel hotter and stickier, and you're probably going to smell more. The other thing, in Thailand, it's a normal thing to shower minimum twice a day. So you shower as soon as you wake up and you shower before you go to bed. But very often it's not abnormal to have a shower during the day as well, maybe a couple. So on average, I'll probably shower minimum twice, but sometimes 3-4 times a day, just making sure that you're clean. And each time you shower, you apply the deodorant again, and Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. So wow, what a clip. You've got culture, you've got language, and you've got some inside tips that are really going to help you, whether you're on a holiday or you're planning to move to Thailand. These can really make your life better. I'm the author of Cracking Thai Fundamentals, a Thai operating system for the mind. So it's not just language, but it's the whole operating system. If you're in Thailand, click on the link below to order and we'll send you a copy. Otherwise, you can get it via Amazon. Come in and continue this discussion on Discord. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.